Welcome to TDN Preps Podcast, brought to you by Sterling Auto Group. I'm here with Tucker Wetmore of Kalama, jack of all trades. Really, I was going to give you a position, but you play a little bit of everything, it seems like, outside of the line.
Yeah.
So you guys are coming off a big win here against Woodland, 2B against 2A, and you guys came out victorious in a really good, close game. What was I know after the game we spoke a little bit about the takeaways, but now that you've had a lot of time to digest it, what has that game done for you guys as a team? Has it kind of verified to you guys that you guys are as good as a lot of people felt you were?
Yeah, pretty much. It kind of brought us together too, because I feel like before Friday night we were all like staggered. Like the line had their group, the receivers had their group, DBs had their group. But I feel like we're all coming together as a unit now, which is helping us out a lot.
All right, and then obviously you guys have arguably a bigger game, definitely when it comes to the 2B, the league itself, coming up this Saturday at Napavine. Talk me through how this week of practice has been, especially with the smoke and kind of the limitations that you guys have had to deal with.
Well, yeah, it's hard. We can't be up here that much, obviously because of smoke, but we have gym time where we go and run routes and kind of walk through plays. We can't do much hitting because can't be up here more than like an hour tops. So it's kind of hard.
Okay, and what are the differences here when from practicing in the gym versus practicing outside? How much different is it mentally and as far as the types of drills you guys can run?
Mentally, I think we're kind of out of it because we're not on the football field setting. Yeah, I don't think it's going to change our game that much, though. I think we're going to still come out strong, still come out hitting.
Okay. And I was just talking with Coach McDonald here, head coach of Kalama football. He was telling me that Napavine has been able to practice. It's not as smoky as it is here in Cowlitz County. So, heading into it, Napavine may have a slight advantage as far as some of the preparation work. But is that the way you feel? I mean, do you feel like you guys have been able to still do all the things that you really need to do as far as prep?
Yeah, we it's not gonna be a setback at all. I don't think. I think we're still gonna do pretty good.
Okay, and something I was just also talking with Coach about is your knee injury last year.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty sounding.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you pretty much knew right away that it was a nasty injury that was going to take some time to heal. Is that about right?
Yeah, pretty much. I popped out about like 45-yard line right down there, and I looked down. My foot's facing one way and kneecap's facing the other way. I pop it back in, and then I look up at my coach and I'm like, I can play still, I can play. And then the pain started kicking in. I was like, oh, okay, no, I can't. Get me off the field. Yeah.
So did you actually give it one play to try it out, or
Oh no, I couldn't stand up after that.
Okay. And so it was an ACL partial tear, MCL partial tear, and an LCL partial tear plus a dislocated kneecap?
And meniscus.
And meniscus, okay.
Pretty much everything surrounding the kneecap partially torn, no full tear, so I didn't need any surgery or anything.
Okay. What was the rehab like for you?
Took a while. I had to be off of it for like 6 months, and then I could start like slowly jogging and like walking, and yeah, it wasn't fun.
Okay. But then you got back for track season.
Mm-hmm.
How different did it feel when you started moving on it in the way, full acceleration and kind of lateral movement, all those things?
I felt really weak, like extremely weak. I wasn't fully prepared to go into track season, starting track season, so I kind of took it slow. I didn't vault very much. I did a lot of like short sprints and pretty much just like weight training and stuff like that.
Okay. How was Coach McDonald concerned at all?
At first, I think he was. He was like, "You better be ready. You better be ready by next season." Mm-hmm. And he was a little on edge about it. But as I started progressing through my rehabilitation, it started looking a lot better.
Okay. And that game you were injured in, missing several players, getting ready for Napavine. Mm-hmm. Let's recap kind of how that game went. How in your eyes, how did that go? How close were you guys? I know it was not the best game, but walk us through how that went.
Yeah, it didn't go good. Not at all. I didn't think we were mentally or physically prepared to play a team at that caliber. They're a pretty good team last year. Yeah, we weren't ready at all. But this year, I think it's gonna be a different outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't have Wyatt Stanley this year, who's a pretty important player for them. Based on your experience in these games, how big of a difference is it for you guys to have pretty much all everybody returning, whereas they are kind of on the other end of the spectrum there?
What'd they lose, like 4 guys, 2 linemen, and then Stanley, and then the Fagerness kids.
Yep, both Fagerness kids, that's right.
They're still a good team though, don't get me wrong. They still are super fast, super strong. They still got the number 6 kid, I don't know their names, number 6 and then number 9. They're super fast and they're good little receivers. And that number 3 kid, I think, he's got a pretty good arm, he's got a cannon, so we'll pretty much be watching for the verts to either 6 or 9, and we'll probably shut down their passing offense.
How does this feel like a big game to you, or is it just another game?
This is a pretty big game to all of us because obviously they beat us last year twice by quite a bit. So we still got some of that anger from last year's games. So we're pretty stoked for this game.
Okay, and this is also now kind of a battle of behemoths. Yeah, have you checked the polls, or have you seen the polls that have come out?
Yeah, TDN's was like us, we were up, and then the other one was they were up. So
yeah, it's 1 and 2 on the state AP poll. So for the regional.
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, this is as far as determining probably a lot of things, maybe possibly seeding. Potentially a lot of factors that can play into the outcome of this game. I know you said you were angry about how last game went, and it sounds like the whole team was pretty angry and kind of trying to channel that. Do you guys have to do anything mentally to channel that energy, or in your preparation?
Not really. I think, are you asking if we can like contain ourselves on the field, or?
Well, yeah, kind of just how going through the day-to-day stuff, having the feeling that it's a big game. Do you have to say put some extra energy into managing? Hey, this is still one game on our schedule. Even though it's an important game, it's a big game. It's a game that clearly everybody here wants.
Yeah.
But I know you guys also want every game.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel personally as far as approaching that from a mental standpoint?
I think preparation-wise, it's not going to change like who we are after the game, or I mean, it is a big game, but it doesn't really matter. This game doesn't really matter. It's the games to come is what you're asking.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
No worries. So to recap also for people that are going to watch this, you guys just beat Woodland 26-14. You had the kind of game clinching interception in the end zone, one-handed grab.
Yeah.
And it was the type of game that, from my eyes, even though the box score had a 12-point differential, it looked, that interception, I believe it was the third quarter, that was flagged for pass interference. It was one of those few other things that could have gone a few different ways, depending on which official saw what, which quarterback saw what. But taking that are you guys taking that confidence still that, that's a 2A school, and it's not just a Joe Schmo 2A school. It's a 2A school who's expected to compete, for a state berth and potentially, if they can get clicking, a state championship. Does that play into things? I know I kind of touched on that earlier, but when you think about it through that lens, or do you try not to think about it through that lens, and say, hey, we knew we were good anyway.
Well, they're high school kids, we're high school kids, so I mean, it's not like a crazy upset or anything, but I mean, we came out on top, obviously, and we had a lot more skill this year, I believe, than we had in the past, so that helped out a lot.
Okay. What's your, when you look at the rest of the 2B schools in your guys' division here, what's the synopsis? How do you, I'm guessing that Napavine is probably, besides you guys, if you were to remove Kalama from the picture there, how would you rank this area of schools in the 2B?
Toledo's pretty high up there still. They're pretty good. I heard Owaco's going to be pretty good this year too, so that's gonna be a fun game. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know.
Now, bringing Kalama back into the picture, do you feel like Kalama is still the team to beat, so to speak?
We're definitely one of the teams to beat in the league, in the state actually. So it's nice to be on a team where everyone kind of loves each other and everyone. It's a brotherhood, so it's got to be a brotherhood out there. Like, just kind of touches home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I got you. And you guys certainly don't have any one weakness. I think that much is clear. I got to see that firsthand last Friday. What do you consider the team's biggest strength to be?
Our line. I think our line is a lot stronger and a lot bigger than most of the lines that we're gonna see, and our skill set is crazy deep. Like we got backups for our backups. So and they're all like on the same level, which is really nice.
As a quarterback or former quarterback, what does it do to a player mentally who's got to take snaps, control the offense, and really in some ways manage the whole game to know, hey, you guys got 6 guys who are rotating, everybody's fresh, and these guys are all really talented, coming at you every snap. Does that for a quarterback, does that psych people out sometimes?
It is really nerve-wracking. Like when you're sitting in the locker room thinking about all the plays that you're gonna run and what they have as a defense, it's pretty nerve-wracking. But when you get on the field, you just have to tone it all out. You gotta kind of get in the zone, or else that's gonna kill the game for you and your team.
Sounds like a challenging thing to do still.
Yeah, it is. But once you get out there, it's kind of like, okay, I'm out here. I need to do what I do best, and I'm here for a reason. So I just gotta prove everyone what I can do.
Okay. And obviously for you guys, Alex Dyer's been the guy this year, and had a good game against a good defense. And as you as a wide receiver out there, what types of things do you do? You feel like you guys do really well on offense?
We communicate pretty well in the huddle. We're pretty focused in our huddles. We don't do much messing around in games in our huddles, and we're really quick offense.
Okay.
So we like to get out there, get on the ball, and go. Just wear out the defense.
Okay. And then this is my last question, real quick. When you get off the bus Saturday, I was going to say Friday. So Kalama has an extra day to prepare, which might come in handy given the amount of air pollution, and it's for anybody that hasn't been outside lately around here. It's not great looking. Yesterday was ash pouring from the sky. I was in Vancouver earlier, a couple of miles from the Eagle Creek fire, and sort of the same thing. Luckily, the winds have moved east apparently and blown a lot of the ash that way. But when you get off the bus Saturday, what has to happen mentally for you guys? Is there something you guys try to do collectively as a team to get on the same, wavelength?
What I emphasize and what my coaches emphasize amongst the teammates is we have to start visualizing. Like the day before, when you're sitting in bed all alone, you gotta start visualizing your plays and what you do and how you think they're gonna play out. And visualizing is a big part of my game. That's for sure.
Okay, I'll do some picks real quick. Okay, we'll start. Kalama, Napavine.
What do you mean?
Who's gonna win that game?
Oh, Kalama.
Okay.
Kalama, definitely.
All right.
It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a really good game.
All right, and then we got R.A. Law and Kelso.
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 Yeah, I gotta pick Kelso.
Okay, is that just school size? What plays into that one?
Yeah, I think they got a lot bigger guys on their team. That's for sure. And I played with a lot of the Kelso kids, and Pop Warner. I played for like 4 years, I think it was, with AJ Hoggett and a lot of the other kids on that team, and they were good back then. I can't even imagine how they are now. I watched some of their film now, and it's crazy. They got Max McDaniel. He was at the combine here not too long ago. He's a freak athlete. So that's gonna.
Yeah, McDaniel ran, I think it was about a 4.8 40 and threw up, I want to say like 30 reps on the bench. So he's got a lot of strength and a lot of speed. All right, final game, Toledo at Ilwaco, two very good teams.
Probably gonna have to pick Toledo.
Okay.
Yeah.
What makes you say Toledo?
Just looking back at last year, Ilwaco wasn't as progressed as Toledo was, and what I take from it, Toledo didn't lose very many guys, did they?
No.
Yeah, and I gotta pick Toledo.
All right. So I am in complete agreement on those three games with Tucker here. There's, I think my prediction for Kalama or my kind of quick rundown. I'm not going to predict the score or even come close to touch on that, but Kalama's got a 6-man defensive line rotation that is going to be and has shown to be through, it's one game, but it's shown to be dominant. It's a rush that's going to keep any quarterback and any offensive line on their heels. As you said, skill position guys are abundant. They can beat you 50 different ways on offense and on defense. As far as Toledo and Ilwaco goes, I think that could be a very close game. Just last week, Toledo actually lost on the very last play of the game, a 2-point conversion attempt. They had scored a touchdown. The clock had run out as they scored against Charles Wright Academy. There was a botched snap, fumble, and game over, 18-19 loss. Kelso rolled Mark Morris last week, and you guys obviously what we've talked about that already.
Yeah.
So this is a really good week 2 in prep football. Obviously, there's week 1 in the NFL. I believe I may know your answer on this. Seattle travels to Green Bay, Lambeau. Green Bay historically, not just recently and over a very long period of time, has been excellent at home. Aaron Rodgers, his passer rating at home is substantially better than away. He's good in both sets, but I think just last year there was a 5 or 6 point passer rating increase at home at Lambeau. Who do you have there?
Green Bay, Seattle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Seattle fan.
Right.
I'm a diehard Seattle fan, so I got to go with my team. But it can honestly go both ways. They're both totally really good teams, offense and defense.
I got to ask your opinion on the Sheldon Richardson trade. I'm not sure quite how much you know about the guy, but he's at very least a defensive force. Is somebody who excels on defense, and kind of seems like we've talked about this a little bit too. What types of things do you expect to go through Aaron Rodgers' mind, knowing he has a guy like Richardson, Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, you know, the whole gamut, and then, you know, Earl Thomas, etc. In the defensive backfield there.
Well, he's a pro, so he's been doing it for, you know, all his life. So I think he's a lot better than us high schoolers at, you know, blocking all the mental stuff out.
Okay, so that's priority number one then?
Yeah,
okay,
pretty much.
All right, right on. Thanks for watching TDM Preps Podcast. Thanks again to Sterling Auto Group. We certainly appreciate your support. Keep tuned, tdmpreps.com and tdm.com/sports. You'll get all your sports coverage there, as well as your local and national news. My name is Jason Leskiw, sports reporter, and this is Tucker Wetmore, defensive guru, offensive threat, Kalama High School. Take it easy.